Welcome to Zoe Stories. He proposed, then forced a surprise feminization wedding ring bride with veil. My name's Jason. 26, quiet, reliable, the kind of guy who blends into the background at work and avoids unnecessary attention. Most people think of me as the typical IT guy, hoodie, sneakers, head down. But what no one knows, not even my girlfriend Leah, is that there's a side of me I've buried deep for years. When I was 13, I found a box of my cousin's old clothes in the attic. I didn't know why, but something about those soft fabrics and feminine colors pulled at me. I tried on a skirt one afternoon, heart pounding the whole time. And the moment I saw myself in the mirror, it was like meeting someone I'd never known I was missing. But fear rushed in just as quickly. What would my parents say? What would anyone say? So I hid it. Always. I learned to be cautious. I kept my crossdressing private, something I only did in the silence of locked doors, when no one could see. Even now, years later, with my own apartment and a full-time job at a cybersecurity firm, that secret still has claws in me. It's a rainy Thursday evening in Portland. The kind of misty, gray dusk that settles over the city like a secret. I'm at home, sitting in my dimly lit apartment that smells faintly of lavender, Leah's favorite scent. She's staying at her sister's tonight. That means I have the place to myself, and that rare opportunity to breathe. Outside, traffic hums in the distance, and the soft tap of rain against the windows is oddly comforting. My apartment is small, lived in. A cozy one-bedroom filled with subtle touches of Leah's influence, plush throw pillows, a candle on the counter labeled Vanilla Dreams, and a soft pink bathrobe hanging on the bathroom door. She's always had a gentle way of softening my space. I walk to the closet. My real closet, hidden behind a fake panel I built myself. Inside is a treasure trove. Dresses, skirts, lingerie, wigs, heels, makeup kits arranged like a shrine to another life. I run my hand over a burgundy satin dress that hugs every curve. It's not new, but it's special. I bought it after a particularly hard week at work, a reward, in secret, for enduring the mask I wear every day. Leah and I have been dating for 2 years. She's beautiful, sharp-witted, kind. The kind of woman who sees through people, but never judges them harshly. She works in HR, and she's amazing at reading people. We met at a company team-building seminar. She had this glow about her, like she didn't just walk into the room, she owned it. I was terrified when I asked her out. She said yes anyway. Since then, we've built a comfortable life. She moved in a year ago. We cook together, binge-watch crime thrillers, and share a cat named Pickles. She talks about getting married sometimes. I nod and smile, but there's a stone in my stomach every time. Because I've never told her the truth. She doesn't know about the closet. She doesn't know about her mascara that I borrowed once and never gave back. She doesn't know about the version of me who slips into lace panties at midnight, feeling more real in them than I ever do in jeans and boxers. And that's the problem. I love her. Truly. But I don't even know if she really loves me or just the version I let her see. Lately, something inside me has shifted. The urge to dress, to become her, has grown stronger, more consuming. It's not just about the clothes anymore. It's about the feeling, the freedom, the sense of home. But it also comes with guilt. What if Leah found out? Would she think I was a liar? A freak? Would she pack her bags and never come back? I can't risk it. So I keep pretending. But tonight, for the first time in weeks, I have space. And maybe, just maybe, I'll let myself breathe again. The scene is set, cozy but shadowed, warm but tense. There's a duality to Jason's life, the devoted boyfriend who folds laundry and texts goodnight red heart, and the hidden girl inside him who dreams of eyeliner wings and strappy heels. The rain outside taps louder, almost like a clock ticking. Time is always against him. But for now, just tonight, it feels like he might get away with it. He walks toward the secret closet. And everything starts. Jason stood frozen in front of the hidden closet, his fingers resting on the latch. The rain outside had picked up. Each drop sounded louder, like a warning or a countdown. But he opened it anyway. Inside, Everything waited for him. Neatly hung dresses, folded stockings, tucked away corsets. Wigs rested on mannequin heads, and rows of cosmetics glowed softly in the dim light. It wasn't just a wardrobe. It was a secret life, carefully curated, emotionally charged. Jason swallowed hard. He was still in his gray hoodie and jeans, the masculine disguise he wore to survive. But in this space, he could become her. He chose the burgundy satin dress. It shimmered as he lifted it from the hanger. His palms tingled. He carried it reverently to the bed and laid it out like a holy garment. Then came the rest: lace panties, a padded bra, the sheer thigh-highs with tiny bows at the top. He slipped into the lingerie first, his heart pounding. The silky material clung to his skin like it belonged there. His chest rose and fell with each breath as he fastened the bra and inserted the foam pads. He looked down and almost blushed. They didn't look fake. Not anymore. He sat in front of his vanity, an antique dresser with a mirror he'd found online and restored in secret. The surface was covered in foundation bottles, blush compacts, and tubes of lipstick, each one chosen after hours of research and trial and error. He applied primer, then foundation. A careful touch of contour, eyeshadow in soft mauve shades, and finally, the mascara. He held the wand still for a second, remembering how this very mascara had once belonged to Leah. She had accused him of misplacing it. He had played dumb. Now it was his. He leaned in and drew on the lipstick, rose pink. Feminine. Soft. When he pulled on the wig, a long auburn cascade that brushed his shoulders, he nearly gasped. It wasn't Jason in the mirror anymore. It was her. She wasn't just an escape. She was freedom. Jason, no, Jade, stood up and stepped into the dress. He zipped it up slowly, savoring the feel of satin sliding against his body. It hugged his waist perfectly. The neckline dipped just enough to make his breath hitch. Then the final piece. The heels. Black stilettos. He slid his feet in and stood tall. The way they forced him to move, elegant, cautious, controlled, made something deep inside him click. Jade didn't stumble. She swayed. Jason walked to the mirror. He turned side to side, twirled once. Her heart raced in her chest. But then she froze. Someone was at the door. Her breath caught in her throat. No one was supposed to be here. She tiptoed to the window and peeked through the blinds. It was dark, but she could make out a figure. Female. Slim. Blonde. Leah? Jade's heart plummeted. She checked her phone. No messages. No missed calls. Leah wasn't supposed to be back until tomorrow. She started to panic, rushing toward the bedroom, nearly tripping over her own heels. She reached the closet, yanked it open, and froze. The burgundy hoodie Jason had worn was gone. So were his jeans. She blinked. Looked again. Gone. Was she imagining things? No. Everything masculine had vanished. And then her phone buzzed. One message. From Leah. Hope you're not too shocked. Can I come in now? Kiss mark. Jade's stomach flipped. Her fingers trembled around the phone. What did that mean? Did she know? How? Was this a trap? A test? Or something else? She sat down, breathing heavily. Her makeup brush rolled off the counter and hit the floor. This was too much. Too exposed. Too close. What if Leah had been watching this whole time? What if she had placed a hidden camera? Had she known for weeks? Months? Was this all some kind of setup? She thought of the moments, those tiny comments Leah had made recently. You always know exactly how my clothes fit. You'd make a gorgeous girl if I did your makeup. You ever wonder what it'd be like to wear a wedding dress? They had seemed playful at the time. Teasing. But maybe they were clues. And suddenly, a darker thought crept in. What if Leah wasn't shocked at all? What if this was planned? Jade stood back up and slowly walked to the living room. She looked at the front door. Still locked. Another knock. This time, the voice came too. Come on, babe. I brought something special. There was a click outside. Keys. She had a key. Of course she did. Jade ran. She turned off the vanity light. Kicked off the heels. But the dress was too tight, and the zipper snagged. The door handle turned, and in that moment, half-dressed, fully transformed, and totally exposed, Jason realized there was no hiding anymore. The front door opened with a quiet creak. Jason stood still in the hallway, frozen in his heels, heart thudding like a war drum. His hands clutched the zipper of the burgundy dress, only halfway down his back. His makeup was flawless, his lips painted with soft pink gloss that still shimmered under the dim hallway light. And then Leah stepped inside. She wasn't surprised. She wasn't shocked. She was smiling. "Wow," she said softly, closing the door behind her. "You really went all out." Jason felt the air leave his lungs. "Leah, it's not what it looks like." Leah tilted her head and chuckled. "Really? Because to me, it looks like my boyfriend is absolutely stunning." He opened his mouth, but no words came. His throat tightened. He backed away a step, stumbling on the heel. Leah stepped forward, calm and confident. She reached out and gently brushed a strand of the auburn wig behind his ear. Her fingers lingered on his cheek. Jason flinched. "Don't be scared," she whispered. "I'm not here to out you. I'm here to help you." Jason blinked. "What?" Leah smiled wider. "You thought I didn't know? Baby, I've known for months." His mind reeled. "How?" She held up her phone. "You left your browser open one night. Photos. Shopping carts. Transformation videos. You were careful, but not that careful." Jason's legs nearly gave out. He leaned against the wall for support. "And then," Leah continued, stepping closer, "there were the stains on my lipstick. The way my panties would go missing. The way you looked at me when I put on my heels." Jason turned away, face burning with shame. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean." "Sure." She touched his arm. "I'm not angry." He looked up. Tears filled his eyes. "You're not." She shook her head. "Jason, I love you. And I love all of you. Including her." He didn't respond. The silence stretched. Then she reached into her purse and pulled something out. A small white box. Jason's heart skipped. She opened it. Inside was a delicate diamond ring, resting atop a satin cushion embroidered with the word, "Yes, if you say it as her." He stared at the box. Disbelief. Wonder. Fear. All crashing together. "Leah, what is this?" he whispered. Leah leaned in. "I proposed to you last week. But tonight," she stepped back and gestured at him. "She says yes. Or no." Jason couldn't speak. He looked at the ring. At the dress he was wearing. At the woman in front of him who had just flipped his entire world. "This is insane," he finally choked. "You planned this." Leah nodded. "Every detail." "You wanted to catch me like this?" "No. I wanted you to choose it." She stepped closer, her voice now low and intense. "This isn't just about a proposal. This is about who you are, Jason. I've seen you in glimpses. Heard it in your voice when you talked about beauty. Watched you when you thought I wasn't looking." She took his hand. "I knew you needed this. But you were never going to let her out unless you were pushed." Jason's breath trembled. But why the deception? Why the surprise? Leah's expression softened. "Because I wanted it to be real. Raw. I needed to see her, not some scripted version of her." He shook his head. "I'm not her. I'm not this." Leah raised a brow. "Then take off the dress. Wipe the makeup. Walk away." Jason didn't move. Seconds passed. "You can't, can you?" she whispered. He looked at the mirror behind Leah. At himself. Not Jason. Jade. Her. And he finally said it. "I don't want to." Leah nodded. "Then it's time." She walked to the hall closet and opened it. Inside. A white garment bag. A veil. Ivory heels. Jason stared. "What is this?" Leah turned, glowing. "Your wedding dress." His eyes widened. "Wait, what?" "I told you. If she says yes," she held up the dress. "We make it official." Jason stammered. "You want me to right now?" Leah nodded. "You've got the heels. You've got the hair. Let's see the bride." The next hour passed in a surreal blur. Leah helped him into the corseted wedding dress, laced it tight, straightened the veil, pinned a pearl clip into the wig. Jason, now fully transformed, stood in front of the mirror. A vision in white. Tears shimmered in his eyes. I never thought I'd see this. Leah walked up behind him, arms around his waist. She's always been there. I just helped her out. And then, holding the ring in hand, Leah whispered, "Will you marry me, Jade?" Jason looked in the mirror. At his reflection, his truth. And finally, through trembling lips, "Yes." As Leah slid the ring onto his finger, Jason felt overwhelmed, like he was floating, disembodied, in a dream. But then Leah's phone buzzed. A text preview lit up. Jason's eyes caught the sender's name, Avery Briefcase. And the message. "It's done." He said yes. The experiment worked. Payment coming. Jason blinked. "Leah, what's that?" Leah quickly locked the phone. "Nothing." He backed away.
Leah.
"Who is Avery?" She hesitated. Jason's voice cracked. Was this a game? An experiment? Leah froze. Then sighed. "It's complicated." He was trembling. "Tell me the truth." And Leah's next words shattered the air. "Your feminization was part of a psychological research study. I wanted to see if I could awaken the woman inside you. For a thesis. I didn't expect to fall in love, too." Jason stared at her in disbelief. The veil slid from his head, floating gently to the ground. "You used me," he whispered. Leah stepped forward. "No, I loved you. I still do." But Jason was already moving, ripping off the heels, the earrings, backing toward the door. "I don't know what's real anymore," he said. Leah's voice broke. "Wait, Jason, please. Don't go." But he was already halfway out the door. Jason stumbled down the front steps, the wedding heels discarded behind him. His feet hit the pavement hard, cold against the cement, still wearing the white stockings from the bridal ensemble. The diamond ring still clung to his finger, glinting mockingly in the porch light. Leah followed him out, barefoot, breathless. "Jason, wait." He turned, rage in his eyes. "You studied me? This was for paper? What else did you plan? My measurements? My breakdown?" Leah flinched. "It wasn't like that."
"Then tell me, Leah."
"Was anything real?" Leah's voice cracked.
"Yes. You, Jade."
"The way you looked at yourself in that dress. That was real." His hands balled into fists at his sides. "You manipulated me into becoming her." "No," Leah said, stepping closer. "I showed you what was already there. Don't you get it? I never forced anything. You chose the clothes. You chose to stay in the makeup. I just gave you the space to become her." He swallowed hard. "But you lied to me. You watched me, without my consent." Leah looked pained. "At first, yes. I was curious. I admit it. I wanted to know if it was possible to unlock that side of someone without ever saying the words. But I didn't expect to fall in love with who you were becoming." Jason shook his head. "You don't fall in love with test subjects, Leah." Tears streamed down her face. "You think this is easy for me? I risked everything. My thesis, my career. I threw it all away the moment I realized I didn't want data anymore. I wanted you." He stood in silence, chest heaving. The wind tugged at the skirt of his dress. The veil lay crumpled on the steps behind her, like a ghost of a future that would never come. Jason looked down at himself. Stockings, eyeliner, painted nails. He had never been this vulnerable in his entire life. He had never felt this exposed, this real. And now it was all a lie? "Do you even know what you've done?" he whispered. "You didn't just make me try on a dress. You made me fall in love with who I was becoming. And now I don't know who I am without her." Leah stepped forward slowly. "Then don't go back." Jason blinked. "What?" Leah's voice steadied. "Don't undo it. Don't pretend you were never her. Because that girl in there, Jade, she's beautiful. She's strong.
She's you.
Just more you than you've ever allowed yourself to be." Jason hesitated. "Even if that's true, how can I ever trust you again?" Leah looked shattered. "You probably can't, but I'll spend the rest of my life trying to earn it." Silence. Then Leah lifted the crumpled veil from the steps. She held it out. Come back inside. One more night. No cameras. No experiments. Just you and me. And her. Jason stared at the veil.
Then at Leah.
Then at the door. He turned back to the night, toward the street. The world out there was hard and cruel. He could wipe away the makeup, rip off the dress, and pretend none of this ever happened. Go back to Jason. Go back to being invisible.
Or
he could go back inside. Face the lie. Live the truth. He turned around slowly. I want answers, he said. Leah nodded. I'll tell you everything. And I want the files. Every note. Every video. Deleted. Leah hesitated. Then nodded again. Done. He stepped forward, inch by inch, until he was back inside the doorway. Leah reached out, gently touching his arm. I missed you, she whispered. I was gone for 5 minutes, he said. Leah smiled sadly. Felt like forever. They didn't speak as she helped him out of the wedding gown. They sat together on the couch, Jason now in a soft silk robe, makeup slightly smudged from tears. Leah placed her phone between them. You can delete it all. Right now. He hesitated, then slowly, one by one, began tapping delete. Photos.
Notes.
Videos.
Gone.
But the feeling didn't go with them. The mirror still showed Jade. The reflection still whispered. This is you. Not because she made you. Because you've always been me. Jason looked down at his ring finger. Still wearing it. Why does it still feel like I said yes, he murmured. Leah leaned in. Because part of you did. Knock. Knock. They both jumped. It was nearly midnight. Leah frowned. Are you expecting anyone? Jason shook his head. Leah walked slowly to the door and peeked through the peephole, then stiffened. Jason stood, tense. Who is it? Leah turned, pale. It's Avery. Jason's stomach dropped. Before either of them could move, another knock. Firmer. Louder. And a voice from the other side. Open up. I want to meet the girl who broke the algorithm. The door creaked open. Avery stood there, perfectly composed, tall, poised, dressed like she'd just walked out of a high-end tech boardroom. Sleek coat. Immaculate makeup. Cold eyes. Her gaze landed immediately on Jason. Correction, Jade. She took in the robe, the soft eyeliner, the flushed cheeks, all of it, in one practiced glance. And she smiled. Just a little. So, she said, stepping into the house uninvited. This is her. Jason instinctively stepped back. Leah's voice was sharp. Avery, what are you doing here? I could ask you the same. Avery glanced around the apartment. Except I already know. Facial tracking logs. Audio markers. Behavioral input. You were building the final phase of your study. Right here. Leah stepped between them. It's over. I'm shutting it down. Oh, come on, Avery scoffed. You don't throw away the most successful case study we've ever had. Do you even know what this could mean for behavioral gender tech? Jason's heart raced. I'm not your case study. Avery finally looked directly at him. You were never supposed to know. But you were perfect, Jason. Or should I say,
Jade.
He flinched at the name rolling off her tongue like a weapon. Leah clenched her jaw. He trusted me. This was my mistake. I'll fix it. Avery raised an eyebrow. You think deleting a few files erases the pattern recognition stored in our cloud? This isn't about you anymore. It's about her. She's the proof. The breakthrough. Jason's voice cracked. So this was never about Leah loving me. Just about creating Jade. No, Leah said instantly, turning to him. Jason, listen to me. That's not what it is anymore. I love you. Every version of you. But, Avery, she only sees the data. You're damn right I do, Avery said. Because it proves what we've always known. With the right environment, the right stimuli, even the most rigid identities can evolve. Jason backed toward the bedroom. I'm not a science project. No, Avery said, almost softly. You're the future. And the world is going to see that soon. Leah's expression turned to horror. You recorded tonight? Avery didn't answer. But the smirk was answer enough. Jason stormed into the bedroom, slamming the door behind him. He stared at the mirror. Jade looked back. Not the clumsy, wide-eyed girl who had tried on a wig in secret. This was someone real. Beautiful.
Broken. Angry. Used.
His hands trembled as he reached up and yanked off the earrings, then the false lashes. He wiped the lipstick away, smearing red across his cheek like war paint. Then, with one violent pull, he tore off the robe. In the mirror, he was bare. Between personas. Neither Jason nor Jade. He stared at the reflection, tears building. "Who am I now?" he whispered. Behind him, Leah stepped in quietly, holding the wedding dress in her arms like something sacred. "You're not her project," she said softly. "And you're not my mistake. You're the only part of this that was ever real." He looked at the dress. Crumpled. Beautiful. Accusing. "I don't want this forced on me," he said. Leah nodded. "Then choose it." He blinked. She laid the dress on the bed. Jason stared at it. The silk shimmered under the soft light, like a question waiting to be answered. Underscore 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 underscore. Firecracker, the final blow. Avery's bombshell. Just then, Avery's voice rang from the living room. "If you're not coming out, then I'll bring the world in." Leah rushed out. "Avery, don't." But she was already tapping her phone. A blue light blinked on. Live streaming. Jason froze in the doorway, half-dressed, staring at the screen in her hand. The title read, "Live. Real-time identity shift. Male to bride." Leah lunged and slapped the phone from Avery's hand. It crashed against the wall and shattered. "You crossed a line," Leah hissed. Avery backed away slowly. "You think this ends here? You think this is just about him?" She looked at Jason. "You're the face of the biggest psychological gender experiment the world's ever seen. They'll want you, Jason, whether you want it or not." Then she walked out. Silence. Jason stood frozen, panting, staring at the shattered pieces of the phone and the cracked reflection of himself in the screen. Later that night, Leah found Jason sitting silently on the edge of the bed. The wedding dress was back in his lap. "I should be furious with you," he murmured. "You should. I should walk away. You still can." He looked up at her, eyes haunted. "But if I do, I think Jade disappears forever. And I don't know if I can lose her now." Leah reached out, brushing a lock of hair from his face. "So stay," she whispered. "Let's write the rest of her story. Together." Jason stood slowly.
Took the dress.
And stepped behind the privacy screen. The sound of fabric slipping over skin. The zipper pulling up. He stepped out, back in full bridal white. No veil. No secrets. Only truth. Leah's eyes welled up.
"Jade."
He nodded. Then knock. Knock. They both froze. Jason whispered. "Again?" This time it wasn't Avery. A new voice.
"Male."
"Open the door. I know what you are. And I want to talk." The knock was deliberate.
Slow.
Insistent. Jason's heart hammered as he and Leah exchanged a look filled with unspoken fear and fragile hope. "Who is it?" Leah asked, voice barely above a whisper. The voice from the other side was low, calm, yet carried a weight that sent a chill down Jason's spine. "I'm someone who knows the truth about you. About Jade. And I'm here to help or destroy." Jason's hands clenched the wedding dress tightly, the silky fabric wrinkling under his grasp. He wanted to scream, to run, to hide. But most of all, he wanted to know. Leah stepped forward, ready to face whatever was on the other side. "If you're here to hurt him, you'll have to get through me first." The door creaked open just a crack. A shadowed figure slipped inside. The room went cold. Jason swallowed hard, feeling every thread of his dual identity hanging in the balance. The stranger's eyes locked with his, a knowing smirk playing on their lips. "So, Jason, or should I say Jade, the voice said, your story is far from over. Leah gripped his hand tightly. Whatever happens next, we face it together. Jason looked down at the wedding dress one last time before dropping it onto the bed. I'm ready, he whispered. The screen fades to black. What do you think happens next? Who is the mysterious visitor? Will Jason embrace Jade fully, or fight to hold on to his old life? Could Leah really be the one to save him, or will the secret tear them apart? Drop your theories in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to catch the next chapter of this shocking transformation journey. Ring bride with veil.